that said, I want to talk about insects that we have, something about insects in general, and then something about our pest problems and IPM. Anybody can tell me what this insect is? What kind of?
Oh.
Okay. Now let me see if I point your work here. Okay. This. See this black and white banding? And here on the antennae, black and white banding. This is diagnostic. This is a brown marmorated stink bug. Now, this is the one that gets into your homes about now. You're going to find it around your windows and your doors and everywhere because this actually, so this is a true bug. True bugs have the wonderful characteristic when you touch them, they reject. Therefore, they're stink bugs. So it is indigenous to Asia. And the reason it's a nuisance to homeowners is because they cannot overwinter here outside. Our native stink bugs overwinter, they get under the trees, they go into the leaves, wherever they can. These guys have to overwinter in warm areas. So they come into our houses. So this is where it was in 2016. So it was first found in Allentown, Pennsylvania in 2001. Now, when I say found, that doesn't mean it came into the US in 2001. It means that it was obvious enough that somebody picked it up. It is really rare that the date of first sight is the date it actually got in here, probably hitchhiked on pallets or something like that into the US. We first found it in North Carolina in Forsyth County in 2009. And you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the red is where it's an agricultural problem, serious agricultural problem. Yellow is kind of an agricultural problem. Yellow, this paler yellow means it's only a nuisance. And the green means they have detected it, but they haven't figured it's a problem yet. In 2018, you can see more of these areas are colored in. Here we have on the West Coast that they're colored, and then Oregon, Michigan, Tennessee, it becomes a big agricultural pest. So, point. Okay, here we go. So this is an insect that has only one generation a year, and that makes a lot. How we control insects often has a lot to do with the number of generations it has a year. This fellow has only one, which means that if we can interrupt the life cycle at any point, we have managed to reduce the next population. So what happens is, here they are, they're all coming into our houses. I've already seen them. Have you all seen them yet?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're trying to get in your house. Then they want to get out of your house in April or May. First thing they're going to do, now these are adults. Okay, so the adults have come into our houses, they come out, they lay eggs on mostly deciduous trees. They go for a lot of trees except oaks. The ones that they go for are tree of heaven, Asian, Calonia, Asian, catalpa, and many of our hardwoods. And then after they've been here for a little while and the orchards start to flower and fruit, they move over to fruit. And they feed here. Then the same adult, these are very prolific individuals, move over into soybeans or row crops. And so on fruit crops, they're very, very important agriculturally. On soybeans and other row crops, they're also agriculturally important. They tend to move in about July 4th to fruits and vegetables. And they can do this. They don't follow rules. We can say, oh, this is what they do, but maybe yes, maybe no. Penn State, where they have serious problems, has said that the best way currently to interrupt them is to destroy them at their overwintering site. Prevent them from getting into your house. I mean, we were up at Monticello and it was amazing. I had never seen so many stink bugs. I mean, and you know what happened is we carried them back in our car. We didn't even realize it. We parked the car in the garage and I'm going, oh, look at this. I mean, I must have had 8 or 10 of these guys. This is how they get, that's how they manage to go from here to there. Is they get junk. So this is what they do. Stink bugs are sucking insects. So this is a fruit which they call cat facing. Basically, what's happened is it fed on this fruit really tiny. So as the fruit developed, all those cells in that area were killed. And so as it develops, it looks pretty lousy, not very good for commercial sale. Now, we're trying to control it. So there are pesticides that work against our native stink bugs, and they don't work against this guy. So, and it is really a significant pest on apples, pears, peaches, a lot of fruit, grapes, figs, mulberry, citrus, persimmon, and even tomatoes and beans where it's established. In Pennsylvania, in 2010, they sustained 18% fruit losses. Wow. $37 million worth of losses. So what are they doing? They're spraying. This costs money. And the problem with what they're spraying, which are broad spectrum pyrethroids and neonicotinoids, is they are really messing up all the rest of the insects in the system. So there are no predators out there. There's nothing out there. Now, what are we going to do about this? So one of the possibilities is to find something that will interrupt the insect. There are parasitoids here that feed on stink bugs. There are some that work very well in the lab, do not work well out in the field. This fellow, the samurai wasp, is a lovely one, really does very good control, up to 80% control in Asia. We don't have it. It has been found in the US, but because we have gotten into such hot pickle introducing things like kudzu. There are very strict rules about introducing anything. So until we can find the samurai wasp in North Carolina, they cannot reproduce it and release it here. So we are, I mean, there are folks at state who are looking for this guy all the time because, and it is an egg parasite. It's a teeny tiny guy. So if we can find where it, if we can find it in North Carolina, we will have better control without using a pesticide.